Okay, guys, so let's talk about identity, access, and security on Azure. Azure Active Directory or Azure Entra ID, the new name, is a cloud-based identity and access management service. Basically, you create users so that they can authenticate and authorize themselves. It works as a single sign-on, so you don't need to create different IDs for different applications. They are integrated with each other. You can host your application, which can be used by business to business users or business to consumer users, and you can manage your devices. As you know that today's time there are so many people or so many companies who are going ahead and letting their employees work from home. So how will you go ahead and manage the devices? Obviously, this is the starting point, and later on you get into the Intune part or endpoint management part. Now, typically, authentication and authorization is taken care once you have created the ID. It identifies the person under authentication. Legitimate access credentials are requested, and uh, that's how the access controls are given. And the second part, it determines whether the authenticated person is authorized to do certain things, defines what data he can access. Let's say there is a HR guy or HR person. Now, can an IT guy go ahead and access the data of HR? Can he see the salary slips of his higher authorities? So authorization goes ahead and decides whether a person can do certain thing or not. As I told you, applications can be hosted on Azure, and a collaboration of business to business or business to consumer can be done. Azure multi-factor authentication is again one of the security features which provides additional security. If you have used Azure, you must be aware that nowadays it asks you to download the Microsoft Authenticator app, and then it goes ahead and gives you a particular code which has to be entered over there. Now, Azure Role-Based Access Control, or we also call it RBAC, it is basically if I hire 10 people and I want to put them in different roles, Azure Role-Based Access Control comes into picture. I will not be making them, all of them, administrators. So it's basically fine-grained access management, what they can go ahead and do, where exactly they can do certain things. It segregates basically duties within a particular team so that every person doesn't have right to do everything what they want. It enables access to Azure portal and controlling access to all the resources. That's how exactly it comes into picture. Now, if you see this particular video, what I have done is I have gone ahead and opened Azure Entra, or you can say Azure Active Directory, the old name. You can go ahead and create users over here once the user is created, and you go ahead and give a particular display name and password. That's how his authentication part is done. This is where your role-based access control comes into picture. Let's say I want to go ahead and give someone a AI administrator kind of a role. I will go into add assignment, select a particular user, and once the user is selected, I will just go ahead and click on add. Once it is added, this particular person will have rights or have all the access of AI administrator. Coming back over here, under your default directory, you will go ahead and see there are different options. And as I told you, you have enterprise applications or your applications, which you can go ahead and host over here. Microsoft also works on something called Zero Trust. It's a new security model that assumes breach and verifies each request that as though it is originated from uncontrolled network. Simply speaking, nowadays because people are working from open internet, it goes ahead and checks out quite a few things, which is who is the user, whether the device has got rights to access it, whether you he is connecting from a particular uh, network which is allowed to access. Once those particular things are taken care, he can access the company resources. This is how zero trust works. Microsoft Data Center, or you can say Microsoft Azure, has got defense in depth. It is a kind of a layered approach for securing all the systems, multiple level of protection. Attacks against one layer are isolated from subsequent layers. So you can see over here, right, starting from physical security, then policies and access, then you have the perimeter, then the networking part, VM compute, application, data. All these layers are segregated from each other, so that even if someone gets inside one of the layers, it is not easy, or it is pretty difficult to get into a different layer. Now, if you see over here, let's say you have started using Azure for the very first time, and you don't know what exactly the security features are available. So, Microsoft Defender for Cloud is a monitoring service that provides threat protection across Azure and on-premise. It will go ahead and check out what all resources you have deployed, whether it is on-premise on Azure. Then based on that, it will go ahead and provide you some security recommendation. In the backend, it will detect and block malware, identify potential attacks, and let's go ahead and talk about, let's say you have not enabled multi-factor authentication for the user. It will go ahead and give you a recommendation that please go ahead and enable MFA, and your security posture will increase. Similarly, it goes ahead and allows you to close or open a port within a particular certain time. Let's say your company is working from 9 to 6 in the daytime, and after that none of the people are working. Now, as you know that virtual machines or Windows virtual machines can be accessed on RDP port 3389, you can always go ahead and close this particular port post 6 o'clock up till morning, maybe 9 o'clock, and that's how you can go ahead and block and take care of the defense of your virtual machines which is getting connected over the internet. Thank you.